And joining us now on this India Today special, the man who perhaps holds the key to who becomes the next mayor of Hyderabad and of course is now once again making an impact on politics. Asaduddin Owaisi of the AIMIM joins me, the Hyderabad MP. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Owaisi. How are we to interpret what happened in Hyderabad in the civic polls as the BJP emerging as the new power center of Telangana politics, or Asaduddin Owaisi proving that he still is a big boss in the old city of Hyderabad?
Rajdeep, I completely disagree with you with this terminology of big boss. You know, in a democracy, the people are the real masters and we are the servants of the people. So the boss is a wrong way of putting it. It is the people who come out and voted in Corona. They are the real deciders of what political party wins or not. As far as the verdict is concerned, Rajdeep, I can only say that the mandate has not been given to any political party, including MIM party. It's a mandate not given to BJP, neither to TRS or neither to MIM. And that is why you see BJP and TRS, after contesting 150 seats, their respective numbers are 55 and 48, and MIM, after contesting 51 seats, we could win 44 seats. So there is no clear mandate given to any political party, and it is for all the political parties to understand this mandate given by the electorate of GHMC and ensure that we provide best governance and ensure that all the civic amenities, including the pollution problem, all the civic problems are solved.
Mr. Owaisi, the fact though is the BJP, which was a single-digit party in terms of seats and percentages, now has got 35% vote share, gets 49 wards out of the 150. Clearly, the BJP must now believe that they are now a party of power, a new power center in Hyderabad. You cannot deny that. They are now the new player in a way in Hyderabad politics, which until now was seen to be dominated by TRS and you.
Well, Rajdeep, as far as you as an anchor is concerned, I find you as a Sachin Tendulkar of anchoring when you do election reporting. And I would like to remind you through your memory that when Telangana was created, we had YSRCP party, we had Congress party, which is on its last legs, Telugu Desam party, the Communist party, Chiranjeevi's party, and the Lok Sakta of Jai Prakash. Now, these political parties had nearly 17 to 18% of vote. That vacuum has been filled by BJP. So please minus this 18% vote of all these political parties, which has now come to BJP. And please understand, Rajdeep, that in 2009, the TRS didn't contest elections. In 5 years ago, in 2016, they could win 99. So, and Hyderabad is a cosmopolitan city. If BJP believes that just because they got 48 seats after contesting 150 wards, and then it's going to be a cakewalk in Telangana, please understand, mainland Telangana is completely different from cosmopolitan GHMC. There, the regional feelings are very strong, and despite being not in this election, we opposed TRS, I still feel that KCR is a regional face as far as Telangana regional feeling is concerned. And my last point, Rajdeep, is that in Nizamabad Municipal Corporation election, which was held 10-12 months ago, the BJP is sitting MP. Please ask the BJP guys who has the mayor and deputy mayor in Nizamabad Municipal Corporation. Karimnagar Municipal Corporation, which is headed by, which MP is now the president of BJP. Who's the mayor and deputy mayor? BJP is not to be found over there. That is why I say that it will be completely wrong to form an opinion that just because BJP has got 48 seats and it will be a cakewalk for them in mainland Telangana. That will not be a case, because there is a regional feeling. KCR, not his party, KCR represents that regional feeling of Telangana. So that is why I feel
Okay,
that
let me come to two issues
it's
from
a
what
Pyrrhic victory of BJP.
There are two issues that come from what you've said. First of all, thank you for calling me the Sachin Tendulkar of elections. I would have rather been the Sachin Tendulkar of cricket, but that's another question for another day. My question to you is, A, you kept saying cosmopolitan Hyderabad. Is Hyderabad really cosmopolitan? Has this election shown in a way that Hyderabad is also getting divided? The kind of campaign the BJP ran, the kind of campaign you are accused of running as a counter to the BJP, that Hyderabad is also getting polarized on Hindu-Muslim lines, or dare I say Hindutva versus MIM or Hindutva versus non-Hindutva lines. Is that true or not?
Rajdeep, again, I would tell you that I don't know whether you have really seen the results. Let me remind you that your colleagues in your channel were tom-tomming that, oh, BJP has entered Owaisi's home. Rajdeep, in my Hyderabad Parliament constituency, there are 40 municipal wards. I contested 34 and I won 33. In the Secunderabad Parliament constituency headed by Mr. Kishan Reddy, who's the MOS, Rajdeep, how many seats did BJP win? How many seats did MIM won? 9 seats. TRS won 18 seats. 13 seats were won by BJP.
No.
And please understand that it also includes Malkajgiri Parliament segment.
Asaduddin Owaisi, that's about a 35.
Please allow me.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
My last point to you was that BJP has won 48 seats. Look at the campaign of BJP and then you accuse me, please show me one speech of mine. It is the BJP who said they will do surgical strike in Old City in my constituency. The people of Old City gave them a democratic strike. The BJP accused that there were 30,000 Rohingyas on voter list. Who is the MOS home? It is Kishan Reddy. Who's the Home Minister? Amit Shah. BJP accused Old City of having Bangladeshis, Afghanis. I mean, who ran this campaign? They called me Jinnah, a 4-time MP who has taken oath in Allah's name on India's constitution. You call me Jinnah. So it is the BJP who has indulged in communal rhetoric. We as a political party, we ensured that the agenda has to be the work which we have done. And yes, we countered BJP by saying that we will not allow the name of Hyderabad to be changed. I mean, it is the BJP who had upped the ante. It is the BJP who talked all this nonsense. It is not the MIM party.
No, the BJP may have upped the ante, but what is the result of it? Is the result of it a fracturing of Hyderabad's so-called cosmopolitanism, where today the BJP says if we come to power, we'll rename it as Bhagyanagar, we will get rid of the Nizam's culture, and you as a result are also seen as a spokesperson of the Muslim community of Hyderabad. Is this sort of battle at one level between Owaisi on one side and the BJP on the other becoming, in Hyderabad at least, a potential divider of the city? And parties like the TRS and the Congress find themselves lost. The Congress disintegrating and the TRS being accused of being hand in glove with you, and they don't want to openly even say that now because they fear they will be dubbed then as a pro-Muslim party. That's the tragedy of Hyderabad.
Rajdeep, thank you once again for making me the focus of all the ills prevailing in Hyderabad and India. What kind of question is this? We contest 51, we win 44. We have an 86% strike rate. We work on the ground day in, day out. We don't. Do you know that I have 3 Hindu corporators who have won? Ask BJP how many Muslim corporators they have won. Please ask them. This is the 4th time Rajmohan has won with the highest majority.
Not a single, not one.
Swami Yadav from Karwan. Not one, not even one Muslim corporator could win from BJP. So who's indulging in communal rhetoric? Who's trying to divide the Hyderabad's diversity, its pluralism, or its Ganga Jamni Tehzeeb if it is left? It is not me. I am giving you empirical evidence. It is for you to decide. But you say I am responsible. I go to Bihar. You say, oh, because of you, Congress.
I didn't say that.
I
didn't say
51 seats
I didn't
out
say
of 150. Rajdeep, you don't need to say that.
I didn't say that you are responsible for the division.
And your insinuations are good enough.
No, please hear me out. No, Mr. Owaisi, hear me out. I am saying that the BJP is using the spectre of Asauddin Owaisi in some way dominating Hyderabad politics to consolidate its own base. And that kind of narrative, in a way, will eventually, some people fear, end up polarizing Hyderabad, because whether you like it or not, you will be forced to take a position, and the BJP is determined to make you, in a way, the hate figure to be targeted. That's my point.
Rajdeep, please understand that if Asaduddin Owaisi is being used to polarize, then why didn't the BJP win in Hyderabad Parliament constituency? Why did Asaduddin Owaisi party won more seats? In Secunderabad Parliament constituency, which is represented by Mr. Kishan Reddy, how is it that I win 9 municipal wards, TRS win 18? And Rajdeep, are you trying to tell me that there is no polarization in India? Rajdeep, in which world are you living? Please come out of the comforts of your Aaj Tak studio. BJP has won 308 Lok Sabha seats.
I've never said that again.
And not even a single Muslim MP is there.
I've never said that.
Rajdeep, you have asked me that question. No, your problem is when someone replies you back with facts and exposes you, you immediately raise your hand. Oh, I didn't ask you that. Rajdeep, country is deeply polarized.
Mr. Owaisi,
we are now seeing a majoritarian form of politics in India. That is the reality. If you still don't wake up and see this, I am sorry to say, Rajdeep, you have to come out of the confines of your studio and see. Why is it that everywhere you see, why isn't there a Muslim minister in Bihar? Please tell me, the BJP and JDU are there. Why is it that now the Muslim number have come down in Bihar? Because of me. Everything is related to me. I know that I am the new Laila of Indian politics, and people like you and BJP and Amit Shah are all my Majnoos. The secular liberals are my Majnoos. The Rajdeep Sardesai is my Majnoo. The BJP and the Congress are my Majnoo. So Asaduddin Owaisi is the new Laila of Indian politics. Welcome. Please start loving me.
Okay, let me ask you. I'll come back to a fallout of what you just said in a moment, but I want to know. You seem to suggest that K. Chandrasekhar Rao regionalism in Telangana will be Hyderabad is not Telangana. Am I to understand that, as far as you are concerned, that when it comes to the mayor election, for example, with no party getting a majority, you will support the TRS to get a mayor, or will you ask for a 50-50 deal, maybe mayor for you one term, half the term and the half to the TRS? I'm told you have a Hindu woman candidate who's been elected who could well become a mayor, because Hyderabad, as per the election rules, will have a woman mayor. Is that a possibility?
Rajdeep, can you repeat your question? I lost your voice.
My limited question is there a possibility of you and the TRS now tying up in Hyderabad for the mayor's post, because you feel that TRS is a party at the end of the day with whom you can do business with to keep the BJP out?
Rajdeep, the State Election Commission is yet to notify officially 150 municipal ward result list, which one municipal ward result is yet to be announced. There is a procedure for conducting elections for mayor and deputy mayor. As of now, our party is yet to take a decision to who to support or what to do or what not to do as far as mayor and deputy mayor is concerned. And I refuse to answer your question because certain decisions of my political party, no political party will come out on a national program of my good friend Shri Rajdeep Sardesai and say that, oh, we are going to do this or do that. We have to first decide amongst ourselves what needs to be done, and definitely whatever decision will be taken by my party, it will be duly informed. But as of now, no such decision has been taken
Okay.
In relation to mayor and deputy mayor, there's still some time left for it. When the time comes, you will come to know.
You know, you are your party. That's why I asked you. Asaduddin Owaisi is the MIM in many ways.
No.
But let me ask you this: you have a Hindu candidate who's a woman who's been elected. No, 1 minute. You have a Hindu candidate who's a woman who's been elected. As per the rules, a woman has to be made mayor this time in Hyderabad. Why not project her as a potential choice? Think about it. Think about the symbolism of that. Would you consider it?
Rajdeep, I am sorry to disappoint you again. Why is it that you sing Hindu woman? You see, I never used the word Muslim over here. It is you, Hindu woman. Think about it. Symbolism. Why should we do symbolism? 70 years symbolism has been done. Nothing concrete has taken place. You know, I disagree with this symbolism. Let us do something constructive, concrete, which will strengthen our democracy, which will give an opportunity to every section of society. That is what needs to be done. Symbolism has destroyed everyone, especially the Muslim community.
Okay.
Symbolism is what holding iftar party. Symbolism is what wearing a skull cap. Symbolism is what going to Khaja Mary's dargah with a full chadar. Arey, forget about this symbolism. We want equal share. We want equal status. We want share in India's polity, in education, in health, in development. Forget about symbolism. What has symbolism got us? It is this symbolism which has destroyed everything as far as the Dalits and the minorities are concerned. I will not do anything which will relate to symbolism. Let us do something constructive. And I'm trying to do that. It is not an easy task. It is very easy for a politician to take a symbolic decision. But for God's sake, what has that helped? Where has that taken us?
If you're saying that, I agree it's not easy, obviously, it's not easy today, dare I say, being an Indian Muslim politician. The number of Muslim MPs in parliament have gone down to an all-time low. I want to understand from you, as you speak about equal opportunities, are you going to take this equal opportunities slogan now to other parts of the country, to Bengal next? Are you clear about that you will go to Bengal, will contest on the basis that you believe Muslims deserve equal opportunities?
Rajdeep, please repeat. Your voice is breaking. I am not able to hear any sentence or word.
Again,
please repeat it again.
Again, let me repeat my question. You spoke about equal opportunities. Will you take your slogan of equal opportunities next to Bengal, where elections are due in a few months' time, where you've indicated that you may be tempted to contest a fair number of seats? Can we expect Asaduddin Owaisi to take this equal opportunities slogan of yours now to Bengal?
Rajdeep, let me make it clear. I have said it many times. I am not afraid to lose elections. I am not afraid to lose elections. I am willing to take all the risks that democracy provides me. I am willing to contest elections everywhere. Win or lose, a different thing. As far as West Bengal is concerned, in a few days' time, I will be consulting, taking advice and suggestions of all my West Bengal party leaders, and will take a decision. And if a decision is to contest elections, so be it, will contest elections. I am not worried about winning or losing. I really don't care who wins or lose, because I am sick and tired of being this coolie of these so-called secular parties, of lifting this unbearable burden of secularism, which is not to be seen anywhere. This political secularism in our country is a farce. The secularism which the Constitution talks about, we have forgotten about it. Everyone is deceiving in the name of political secularism.
Define it
and
for
I
me.
will not stand up to this
Define it
political
for me.
secularism, which is a method to deceive everyone.
Define it for me. Give me your definition of political secularism, Asaduddin Owaisi. What is your definition?
The definition of political secularism is Asaduddin Owaisi's party MIM should not contest, because if you contest, you will be eating into our oats. That means that you will be my master and I should be subservient to you in the name of political secularism. Political secularism means that in India's Lok Sabha, you don't have Muslims, you only have 23 Muslims, and the population of Muslims is 14%. The political secularism is farce because BJP as a ruling party has 300 odd MPs and they don't even have a single Muslim MP elected from a Lok Sabha constituency. The politicals, I can give you another example from your home state of Maharashtra. Look at the farce of Congress. In the name of political secularism, they are sharing power with Shiv Sena, and Shiv Sena's role has been pointed out, exposed, how badly they treated in the communal rights in Sri Krishna Commission report. This is what I'm saying. This political secularism is farce. This has been used to deceive the minorities and Dalits. It is high time that the Muslims and Dalits reject this political secularism and try to politically empower them. And definitely in this process, in this first stage, there will be many defeats. But there will be victories later on, because the struggle has to be started from now, so that the coming generation in 20 years should not be deceived again by these people who have used this political secularism to take away my political empowerment, education empowerment, social empowerment. That is the real struggle.
What is your definition? What would you like, your ideal definition of, dare I say, constitutional secularism? How does Asaduddin Owaisi see constitutional secularism?
The constitutional secularism, with the limited legal knowledge I have, I'm still a student of law and politics, the ruling party or the state must have no role to play whatsoever in any religion. The state must not support one religion. The state has nothing to do with religion. Let people follow the religion. But what we have been seeing is that whether it is Congress or now BJP, they've always been supporting a religion. They are in power, they support religion. That is what I say.
But
that
but when your name of your party is All India Majlis-e-Ittehadul Muslimin, when your name of your party itself is seen to reflect perhaps the idea of a Muslim unity, how do you then define constitutional secularism?
I define it because no political party is registered in India unless and until you subscribe and accept the India's constitution. And that is why I have been fighting elections to strengthen India's democracy, to create confidence in India's democracy, to find answers to my questions which are lying dormant for last 70 years. That is why me contesting election is very important, win or lose, because that is where I will find questions to answers.
Not for Muslim unity. Are you contesting elections for Muslim unity, or are you contesting elections because you believe that Muslims need to be more empowered and deserve equal opportunity?
My party is working for unity among the Muslims, Dalits. Exactly, Rajdeep. The equal opportunity is yet to be given to the weakest of the weak. Those are Dalits, Muslim minorities. There are certain sections of backward classes which requires equal opportunity, and that has not been there, and that is why you see this churning and yearning amongst these particular class who wants political empowerment, because the crass reality of our democracy is that unless and until you have a political representation, no one cares about you. No one gives a damn about your issues. That is the crass reality.
Can I therefore ask you in conclusion and go back to Hyderabad, because in many ways Hyderabad was seen, some even saw it at one stage as a potential second capital for this country. Has Hyderabad changed as a result of the entry of the BJP? Will Hyderabad change really now? Are we seeing now the politics where the urban middle class in particular is now vulnerable to the kind of rhetoric we've seen in the Hyderabad campaign? To that extent, Asaduddin Owaisi, will Hyderabad remain the same?
Rajdeep, you talk about Hyderabad. India has changed since BJP has come into power. Since Mr. Modi has become the Prime Minister, India has changed. You see mob lynching. You see people being killed in the name of cow. You see people who are convicted and being garlanded by BJP. You see now laws are made against people marrying and love, which is a blatant violation of Article 14 and 21. BJP is trying to change India. Forget about Hyderabad. BJP is trying to finish the social fabric of our country. Why do you exclude Hyderabad? It is the whole country's social fabric which BJP wants to change. That is the real challenge for people who believes in the true secularism which is defined in the India's constitution.
Asaduddin Owaisi, we will see where this battle, as you say, for constitutional secularism goes. And in a way, that's a battle that could offer a huge challenge to the India of the future. For now, Asaduddin Owaisi, thank you so much for joining me here on India Today. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you. Thank you.